Hello children, this is your English teacher Mrs. Aisha. Today we are going to learn a poem from our course book. The Clothes Line by Charlotte Druitt Cole. Let me give you a brief idea about the poem. The poem Clothes Line is about the clothes flapping over the wind during the windy day in the month of March. The poet makes use of imagery, a literary device, and a figure of speech, simile, to bring out the aesthetic sense in the poem. She explains that her handkerchief flew away from the clothesline due to the wind. But no one knows where the handkerchief flew away, and the poet couldn't find it. Before beginning with the explanation of the poem, let me explain you what is imagery. Imagery is a literary device used in the poems to bring out the aesthetic sense in it. The definition is as follows: descriptive language used in literature to create word pictures for the reader. The pictures are created by details of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, or movements. In other words, imagery is a technique used by poets and writers to create a picture in the minds of the readers. If we close our eyes and hear the poem, we can hear, see, and feel what the poet says. Here are few examples. It was dark and dim in the forest. So this particular sentence gives us the idea of the sight of that area. So this is an imagery. Next example, the children were screaming and shouting in the fields. This particular sentence gives us the idea of the sound. So this is an imagery. Now let me explain you what is simile. It is a figure of speech which gives us the comparison between two things using the word as or like. You can see the picture over here. It's the picture of a girl and a sun. The features are explained about the girl, that is blue eyes, blonde hair, and bright smile. The sun's features are the shape is round, color yellow, and it is bright. Now we want to compare the smile of the girl with the sun. So we use it in a form of a sentence with the help of the word as or like. Her smile is as bright as the sun. So we are comparing the smile with the brightness of the sun. This is using the word as. Now let us see how to use the word like in the sentence for comparison. Her smile is bright like the sun. So here again we are comparing her smile with the brightness of the sun. So this is called as simile when we are comparing the two things. There are other examples of simile as well. That is, wise as an owl, howls like the wind, quick as a wink, solid as a rock, cry like a baby, swim like a fish, quiet as a mouse, cool as a cucumber, grow like a weed. So these were some of the examples for the figure of speech that is simile. Now let us begin with the poem. First, I will read the stanza and then explain. Stanza 1. Hand in hand they dance in a row, hither and thither and to and fro. Flip, flap, flop, and away they go, fluttering creatures as white as snow. Let me explain you. The poetess Charlotte Druitt Cole is talking about the clothes hanging on the clothesline. To her, they look as if they are holding hands, standing in a row and dancing merrily. She compares them to the white birds that fly in the sky. Now children, here we can find some rhyming words. That is row, fro, go, snow. These are rhyming words. We can also find a simile which is highlighted in blue text. That is creatures as white as snow. So the birds are being compared with the snow. This is a simile used by the poet. Stanza 2. Like restive horses they caper and prance. Like fairy tale witches they wildly dance. Rounded in front but hollow behind. They shiver and skip in the merry March wind. Now let me explain. Here the poetess compares the clothes hanging on the clothesline to restless horses that are leaping and galloping with happiness. As the winds flutter on the clothesline, they form a bowl-like shape that is round at the edges and hollow in the center. The poetess also feels that the clothes are shivering and skipping in the wind that is very happy during the month of March. Now here children, in stanza 2 we can find two rhyming words, that is prance, dance. Stanza 3. One I saw dancing excitedly, struggling so wildly till she was free. Then, leaving pegs and clothesline behind her, she flew like a bird and no one could find her. Now I will explain. The poetess says that once she saw someone dance excitedly. Dance excitedly here referring to the clothes movement due to the power of March wind. And with great struggle she freed herself. She refers to poet's handkerchief. Then leaving the pegs and the clothesline, she flew like a bird. She flew like a bird here. Simile is used by the poet. That is, the handkerchief is being compared to the bird. So the handkerchief flew just like the bird. So she flew like a bird. So far that no one was able to follow and find her. Stanza 4. I saw her gleam like a sail in the sun, flipping and flapping and flopping for fun. Nobody knows where she now can be, hid in a ditch or drowned in the sea. Let me explain. Continuing with the suspense, the poetess compares that someone to a shining sail. The poetess tells us that she was flipping, flopping, and flapping away with happiness. She flew away so fast that nobody knows where she went and where she could be. Thinking of the worst that could happen, the poetess wonders whether she is hiding in a ditch or may have drowned in the sea. Here she refers to poet's handkerchief. Remember that, children. Now I would like to explain about the simile, like a sail, which has been highlighted. Sail means a big sheet of cloth at the mast of the boat which helps it to sail. So here the handkerchief of the poet is been compared with the sail. So the handkerchief is just flying or flowing like a sail. This is a simile. And we have rhyming words here as well. That is sun, fun, bee and sea. Stanza 5. She was my handkerchief not long ago, but she'll never come back to my pocket, I know. So children, this is our last stanza. Let me explain. It's only in the last two lines of the poem that the poetess reveals that she was talking about her handkerchief that flew away not very long ago. She is sure that it will not come back to her and it is lost forever. Now, let me explain the conclusion of the poem. The poetess begins the poem with the happy note of clothes dancing on the clothesline, but she ends it with a sad note of her handkerchief flying away and never coming back. Well, this is the end of the poem. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good time.